Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another Chamber Check-In episode from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. Today, I'm so excited to feature Heather Chambers. She's the Senior Vice President of the Western Idaho Division Manager for WaFd Bank. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Paul. Happy Friday. Happy beautiful Friday. How are you?
Oh my gosh, you are so correct. Our offices are right downtown, and we're right next to Simplot and Jump. And sometimes during lunch, I'll just go out to Jump and walk through that area, and it revitalizes me. And now that the sun's out and spring is actually coming, maybe.
Maybe.
I love it. I love it. Adrian's already chiming in. Hi, Adrian. So, Heather, these chamber check-ins have been a great way to connect with our members and help share their stories. And you have been such a big part of the chamber, specifically you, Heather, on all the sponsorships with Operation Thank You every single year, being a part of our board of directors and your team, a part of our different programs and stuff. And I won't steal your thunder to talk about that, but WaFd Bank is a cornerstone member of this community, and I'm so glad to feature you today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and we love the chamber. We love partnering with all that you do, and we're so happy to be a part of it. As you mentioned, we are very, very involved with the chamber. So starting with obviously the ambassadors, one of our managers is the president of the ambassadors. We're involved with the Boise Young Professionals. We love hosting chamber after hours, Operation Thank You. We also have somebody going through Leadership Boise right now. So we appreciate all that you do in the community and are super proud and happy to be a big part of that.
Well, let's take a little bit of time and let's talk about you. Help me share a little bit about your background and history of work. I'll let you say how long you've been in the financial industry. Let's start there.
Okay, I have always loved numbers and loved people, and I started in banking part-time as a teller while I was going through college, and quickly realized that I just fell in love with banking. It's a money business, but really it's a people business. And I love what I do. I truly love it still every day, and was fortunate enough to become part of WaFd Bank about 10 years ago. I actually worked for Bank of America for many years. And at that time, WaFd bought the Bank of America branches. And I feel like WaFd is what I loved about banking when I first got into it. And it's a great place to be. And it's interesting because after being in banking for over 30 years, so much has changed. Obviously, technology has changed so much in the way we do things. You think about the old credit cards, the way we used to process credit cards or even checks. Like we used to take check deposits and have to have a courier and fly our checks to be processed. And now everything is captured so digitally. And, it's changed the world in banking, certainly the world in general. But so much has changed about banking, but so much has remained the same. It really is a relationship and people-based business, and that's what I love about it.
So your entire career has been in the financial industry?
Really has, yes.
Okay, that's awesome. That says a lot about you and your experience as well. And then now let's talk a little bit about WaFd Bank's origin story. I think that's really cool to know. I used to know it as Washington Federal.
Yeah.
So help me share the origin story of WaFd Bank, maybe nationally, and then obviously this community.
Absolutely. Well, the Washington Federal has a little bit of a history of a story, and I'll tell you that in just a minute. Washington Federal actually started in 1917 as Ballard Savings and Loan in Ballard, Washington. We're based in Seattle, but we very much operate locally as a regional bank. We've been here in the Boise area since 1927 and have been under the name Washington Federal for many, many years. We recently, a few years ago, rebranded, same company, same great people, but we were under the name of Washington Federal, which it's funny, we did a name recognition survey, and actually some people thought we were a prison because we didn't have the name. You think Washington Federal, we actually didn't have the name bank in our title. And so we rebranded as WaFd Bank. WaFd is actually our stock symbol and had long been, I guess you could say, our nickname. I like the new fresh branding, and but it really is same bank, same over 100-year-old bank, great history, great people, just a fresh new look and name. But we've been around this community for a long time. Now we're actually in 9 states with over 200 branches. But as I said, we very much operate, we're a regional bank, but very much operate with local leadership, local decisions, which I love. Actually, I'll say something else about that, because I feel like we're big enough to be, have the products and services of bigger banks, but small enough to be very personal with our clients. I think we have a very good combination of technology, but personal service. You can still call into any of our branches. We don't have a phone tree. It's kind of a small deal, but it's a really big deal for clients to be able to call directly, talk to their bank branch people that they love, talk to their bankers. And I hear all the time when I'm out in the community and from friends that bank with us, we go into your branches. They treat us like family. We really do. I guess I'm a little partial, but we have an amazing team. We have branches all throughout the Treasure Valley to serve clients up into McCall. I support a branch in McCall, over to Payette, obviously all throughout the Treasure Valley, several branches in Boise, Meridian, Eagle, Nampa, Caldwell. We're here to serve, and we have great people and great ways to do that.
Well, and when you started the chamber, it was 1927.
Yeah.
So right when WaFd Bank started in this community, the leaders at that time joined the chamber, and you've been a member for almost 100 years.
Pretty remarkable. It is, yeah.
It's incredible, and I think that says a lot about the culture of the bank and its leadership and people.
We're definitely invested in the community, and I feel like that's a strong indication, along with everything else that we love to do. But we like to invest in the community. We love the work that you do, and we're proud to be part of that.
You had mentioned being big enough to provide the services, but small enough to take a personal phone call. I want to dive in a little bit more in detail on the services that WaFd Bank offers, because here's something that's really unique. I saw on the personal banking site something called Zelle. I don't know what that is, but it's voice activated banking. And you talked about technology kind of changing the world. Maybe share some of the technology that WaFd Bank is offering that's kind of mirroring our future.
Thank you. So Zelle is actually a platform for real-time payments. It's a great, easy way for people to send payments and also to receive payments. We offer it both on the consumer side, personal side, and on the business side. Voice-activated banking is another great feature just for people to access their accounts in addition to online banking. I would say, we've been really focused on just a lot of different ways of helping clients from business perspective. We love focusing on helping businesses just as you do. We know that businesses are the lifeblood of our community, and people get into business because they're great at what they do in their business, not because they're great at the financial aspects of business. So we have some really great services to help manage how they're getting paid, how they're receiving payments, things like payroll. We have a company we partner with called FinSync that offers an online platform for people to manage their accounts. Much like QuickBooks, there are a lot of features available that are free, but it helps businesses to manage their books, even has a payroll component to it. That's a great one. We have ways to help with payments, receiving and sending payments, all kinds of things.
I love that. And you mentioned survey. You are surveying your business partners on, hey, what do you want us to look like? And I would assume that you listen to your clients and members of the bank to understand how the needs are changing and how you can help support those changing needs to make it more efficient, right? Businesses need to be efficient, and our banks are our leaders on efficiency. I love that.
Absolutely. You said it well. That's what we focus on, helping our business clients be more efficient in how they do business so they can focus on their business.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. WaFd Bank has been well known and for a long time with their mortgage products, and you've done them very well. But I would love for you to share how your commitment to partnering with businesses and share some great examples of that.
You're right. WaFd has been long known for our mortgage products, and we're very unique in that space because we don't sell our loans. All other lenders that you hear out there are selling to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So the fact that we don't sell our loans gives us the ability to have some really unique products and services, as well as be there for our clients from the very beginning to the end. But again, just partnering with people in general to help make their lives better, make a difference. I would say it comes down to our people really being there to service them. But some of the products that I mentioned, like FinSync and some different payment solutions, just things like that, to really understand our customer needs and offer them solutions that in many cases they didn't know were available, and really just can be wowed in how we can help make their business and their finances more streamlined, more efficient.
Well, and we were talking earlier before we went live on the broadcast, how many community partnerships that WaFd is involved with. You mentioned the WCA, you mentioned the Idaho Food Bank. Tell us a little bit more about that and why that's important.
Community partnerships are huge to us. I'll actually start with the Boise Chamber. You guys are huge partners. I mentioned at the beginning, we love all the things we're involved with, including the ambassador program and Boise Young Professionals, Leadership Boise, all the stuff. But yeah, a big part of us making a difference in the community is being involved with so many great nonprofits. Just to name a few, Idaho Food Bank, we regularly volunteer there as a team, and our team loves it. And, the Idaho Food Bank really depends on volunteer hours to do what they do. We were there a couple of weeks ago, and they said they actually had 60,000 hours last year of volunteer hours. And you think about what that would cost them from a financial perspective if they didn't have people volunteering. We also were really involved with the United Way. We were just recently a drop-off site for the children's book drive, because literacy is a huge determining factor for how children will be successful in the future. So all of our branches were drop-off sites for the book drive. We had a huge team of our people, over 20 people, went and helped to sort and clean the books so they can be distributed to kids, because often low-income kids don't have books of their own in their home. They're kind of paycheck to paycheck. So that was a fun thing for our team to be involved with. We just recently, our downtown branch last week on the 4th hosted a First Thursday event, which was fun. Even in spite of the pouring rain that we had a really great turnout. That was fun. We've done for a number of years, have partnered with Boise High and had their students come in and display artwork. We actually still have it up here, just some amazing artwork from Boise High. The talent is really just fun to see, and we keep it up for a week or two. And along with the First Thursday event, along with the great art from Boise High, we also had Habitat for Humanity here hosting a table and sharing about what they are doing. Everybody has known Habitat for Humanity for many years for doing the builds. Something new that they're focusing on is they have a repair program. It's a really neat program, because you think about a lot of low-income seniors, they have a hard time staying in their homes because they may need repairs. Oftentimes it's things like wheelchair ramps. So he was able to be here and share what they're doing. And he was actually able to make some great connections with people that want to volunteer, contractors. So we just love to partner wherever we can to make a difference. I'll also add one more plug. Right now, we just are involved in a Mother's Day drive for the WCA, another great nonprofit that we love to be involved with. And they're doing a Mother's Day drive for all kinds of things for mothers that'll be distributed to mothers that are being served right now by the WCA. So that's just a few, but lots of good stuff.
Well, just listening to you talk about the community before you talk about yourself, that's the type of people, that's the type of person you are, Heather, and I love that.
Oh, thanks.
Always shouting out your members and your clients first and the community first. Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty here. How's the economy looking? What's going on with mortgage rates? How are they moving? What's going on?
Such a mixed signal. What's going on? Well, inflation is still high. So the economy I think we're all feeling the pain of inflation, right? And that is really the culprit of what we're seeing with rates being high, because rates were increased to try and tamper inflation. So for many years, or I shouldn't say but in 2022, the inflation rate was 8%, and it's been higher than the target rate of 2%. And that has been the driving factor behind the higher interest rates. Just like anything, supply and demand creates inflation, and we've had low rates for so many years, which basically increased the money supply in the economy. And so by increasing the rates, the aim is to decrease inflation. So right now it's really a mixed bag, because we've got some great, consumer spending is still really strong, unemployment rates are still really strong, and the feds are doing what they're trying to do to tamper down inflation. And it is heading in the right direction. The last monthly report was at 3.5%, which is still above the target rate of 2%, but much better than the inflation rate, which was almost 10% not too long ago. So we're heading in the right direction. We would all like to see interest rates come down, but what would happen right now if the Feds took the action to lower rates, we'd probably see inflation just raise right back up. So it's definitely a balancing act, and we will see rates eventually come back down. The Fed funds rates that are so painful right now are directly impacting things like credit cards and auto loans. They're an indirect influencer of mortgage rates. So those, when the economic indicators are such, which really is tied to inflation, such that the rates will start to come back down. When inflation is tampered back down, we'll all be happy for that. But overall, I mean, some really good, strong signs of the economy. It's just inflation is painful right now, and the higher rates we will see, and we'll all be happy for it. But it's just going to take a little time.
Well, there's still lines at the restaurants. Everybody's still going to hockey games. And I would imagine that the Boise market, the metro region, kind of reacts differently than the rest of maybe some of your other branches in your other states. What are you hearing, how we're ranked and sorted?
I think everything I hear and see, Boise economy is strong. It hasn't stopped. And I've even heard from the real estate market, you would think the higher interest rates would be slowing things down, but I'm hearing from our partners out in the market, we're again seeing multiple offers on homes, and just kind of almost bidding wars, not to the degree that we saw a couple of years ago, because definitely the higher rates have impacted people's purchasing power. But it's amazing, even though the prices of homes haven't come down that much, we are still in a very strong economy here, which is good. But I think we'd all like to see some of the pricing come down a little bit across the board, including housing. But Boise is still a great place to live. You can't blame people.
No. Well, the financial industry is a great litmus test for our economy. And if anybody's wondering what's going on, call your friends at WaFd Bank, Heather, Adrian down at the downtown branch. While I have you today, Heather, is there anything else that you feel would be important to educate the public on?
Gosh, not that you haven't mentioned already. Just get out and enjoy the beautiful weekend. We're excited for spring. We got to enjoy the weather. Well, it's nice, while we can, as we experience a little bit of our normal spring roller coaster of weather.
I tell you, you hit the nail right on the head. For some reason, a switch got turned, and it was cold, and then spring just started, and I'm loving my time commuting back and forth to all my kids' activities. And remember to plan a little bit more as we're driving down our corridors to get to where we need. Give yourself an extra 15 minutes right now.
For sure. Yes.
Absolutely. Heather, thanks so much for all your time. Thanks for your commitment to the chamber. And I look forward to cheersing you at the next event.
Sounds great. We sure appreciate you.